Welcome to HH28, where we unravel the secrets of self-discovery and matchmaking. We are Hugh and Heather,
two master holistic guides dedicated to helping you navigate the worlds of numerology, astrology, and personality in pursuit of meaningful connections.
Today we're really diving deep into what it really means to be a snake in the Chinese zodiac. Buckle up, because we're going to uncover how those born in the year of the snake navigate the world. We'll be looking at their strengths, weaknesses, how they connect with others, all that good stuff.
The snake is such a fascinating sign. People often misunderstand them, but they have such hidden depths, just like you.
Right. And speaking of hidden depths, I was reading through the research, and this one bit really caught my eye. Did you know that while the snake is generally a yin sign linked to fire, other elements can totally influence a snake's traits? It's wild. It's like each snake year has, its own unique flavor.
Exactly. No two snakes are exactly alike. But generally speaking, people born in the year of the snake, regardless of their element, are often seen as intelligent, graceful, and incredibly capable, but with this really intriguing air of mystery about them. It's not just a surface level thing either. It really influences how they approach life.
So it's not like we can just put all snakes into one box, right?
Absolutely not. For instance, think about the water snake. They were born in 1953, and they really embody the adaptable nature of water. It enhances their intuition, making them super empathetic. They can really connect with people on a deep level. Now, picture the fire snake. Born in 1977, they just radiate this dynamism, this passion. Fire snakes naturally draw people in with their charisma and leadership qualities.
Wow. Insightful water snake, captivating fire snake. It's amazing how those elements can add so much depth. So we've got water, we've got fire. What about the other elements?
Well, if you were born in 1965, you'd be an earth snake. The research really highlights their practicality and their grounded nature. They're the ones who, when faced with a challenge, approach it methodically, level-headed. Then, fast forward to 2001, that's when you get your metal snakes. Ambitious and determined, they set really high standards, and they are not afraid to put in the work. And we can't forget the wood snakes, born in 89, right? They're the creatives, the idealists, the ones who really, truly want to leave the world a better place.
It's just amazing to me how one sign can manifest in so many different ways. But even with all those variations, would you say there's still some common threads that run through all the snake years?
Oh, for sure. Despite their differences, snakes, at their core, are known for their sharp minds, their strategic thinking, and of course, that inherent air of mystery. They're always observing, always taking in information and processing it in a way that makes them seem wise beyond their years.
It's like they have this inner wisdom, But speaking of guidance, the research we've been looking at, it doesn't shy away from potential downsides either. And frankly, that's where things get really interesting for me.
I agree. I think recognizing both the strengths and the challenges is crucial to understanding any sign. It's all about balance.
Exactly. For instance, the research points out this really interesting paradox. Snakes are known for being intelligent, but they can also be prone to overthinking. How did that play out in the life of someone with, strong snake energy?
Well, you might find yourself overthinking your interactions with others, like replaying conversations in your head, wondering if you said the right thing. Or maybe you analyze decisions from every possible angle, which can lead to, analysis paralysis.
Yeah, it can be so easy to get stuck in your head, right?
Yeah.
And it's not just about decisions either. This whole overthinking thing, it can really spill into relationships too.
Absolutely. Snakes can really overanalyze their interactions with others, which can lead to all sorts of, unnecessary worry or doubt. And this actually ties into another fascinating paradox that the research highlights. Snakes can be both charismatic and secretive, so they might be able to draw people in with their charm, but deep down they kind of hold back certain parts of themselves.
It's interesting because on the surface, it seems almost contradictory, right? You can captivate a room, but you're also really guarded. How does it even work?
I think it all boils down to their need for privacy and control. Snakes are really intentional about what they choose to reveal about themselves. So yeah, they might be the life of the party, but they've carefully chosen which parts of themselves they're sharing. And to a certain extent, that's healthy. We all need boundaries, right? The challenge for snakes is finding that balance between, maintaining their privacy, but also letting people in close enough to form those really intimate connections.
It's like they have this beautifully woven tapestry that represents their inner world, but they're just not quite ready to fully unveil it.
Precisely.
Yeah.
And that's why I think understanding those nuances is so important. It's about appreciating the complexity that makes the snake sign so fascinating.
Yeah, and it's striking to me how many of these snake traits, both the strength and the challenges, they resonate even if you weren't born in the year of the snake. I mean, we've all wrestled with overthinking at some point or another, right?
Yeah.
We're trying to find that sweet spot between privacy and vulnerability in our relationships.
Oh, 100%. I think what we're exploring here, it transcends like a single zodiac sign. These are pretty universally relatable themes. I think they really touch on the human experience.
Absolutely. And speaking of those, intriguing snake traits and how they play out in relationships, the research actually has some really fascinating insights into compatibility, especially when it comes to roosters and oxen. They're repeatedly highlighted as really strong matches for snakes. So what's the deal with those pairings? Like, why are they considered such a good fit?
Well, let's start with roosters. The research suggests that it's kind of like a meeting of the minds, but with a really nice balance of differences, too. Both signs really value loyalty, which creates this really strong foundation for any relationship. And while roosters are known for being very direct, they're also often captivated by the snake's depth and intrigue. It creates this push and pull dynamic where the rooster's, straightforward nature actually encourages the snake to communicate more openly, which ultimately leads to a stronger bond.
So it's like their energies really complement each other, right? The rooster kind of encourages that open communication,
Right.
while the snake brings that more thoughtful, strategic perspective. What about the ox? That seems like a very different kind of dynamic.
You're right. It is a different flavor of compatibility.
Yeah.
But it can be equally as powerful. The research really emphasizes the ox's grounding influence on the snake. Oxen are known for their stability, their reliability, their practicality, all of which can be incredibly calming for the snake, who, as we've discussed, can be prone to, overthinking or getting lost in their own thoughts.
So the ox kind of provides that sense of security, that stability that maybe the snake finds really reassuring.
Exactly. And when it comes to shared goals, whether it's in work or their personal lives, this combination is practically unstoppable. Both the ox and the snake are incredibly hardworking, committed, driven to succeed, and they really complement each other's work styles too. The ox is steady, persistent, while the snake is resourceful, strategic. It's like they create this really powerful synergy.
It's like they just instinctively understand each other's strengths and how to leverage them effectively. I'm sensing a theme here. It's not so much about finding someone exactly like you,
Yeah.
but rather someone who really complements your energy and helps you, navigate those trickier aspects of your personality.
That's such a great point. It's about embracing those differences, recognizing how they can actually lead to growth and balance in a relationship.
Which leads us perfectly to our next topic. The research also delves into some of the challenges that those born in the year of the snake might face. And one that really stood out to me, and I'm curious to hear if this resonates with you at all, is this idea of balancing the snake's natural perfectionism with the need to adapt to, life's curveballs. Because that's something we can all relate to, all right?
Yeah.
Regardless of our zodiac sign.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, it's a universal struggle trying to reconcile how we want things to be with the reality that life is often unpredictable and messy and rarely goes according to plan.
Right. And for snakes, who are often gifted planners, strategists, how do they learn to embrace that flexibility when their instinct is to have it all mapped out?
I think it all starts with self-awareness. The research really emphasizes this. Snakes, you are wired to strive for excellence, and that's an amazing strength. But it's also important to recognize when those high standards become a source of pressure or self-criticism. It's about finding that sweet spot between pushing yourself to be your best and also accepting that sometimes good enough really is more than enough.
It's definitely easier said than done, though, right? Especially for our snake listeners who are, naturally gifted at planning and strategizing. How do you even begin to embrace that flexibility when you're wired to have everything mapped out?
I think that's where their innate resourcefulness comes into play. Snakes are actually incredibly adaptable when they need to be. Think about how a snake moves. It's all about navigating obstacles, finding creative solutions. So channel that energy into embracing change rather than, resisting it. Instead of viewing unexpected situations as failures, try to see them as opportunities to learn and grow.
It's like reframing those uh-oh moments into here we go again adventures.
Exactly. That shift in perspective can be so empowering.
And it really speaks to the core of what we've been talking about today, that snakes are complex beings with these incredible strengths, but also some inherent challenges.
Yeah.
And it's about recognizing those challenges, owning them, and ultimately, using them to navigate life in a way that feels authentic and fulfilling.
I couldn't agree more. Self-awareness is an ongoing journey, It's about constantly checking in with yourself, understanding your needs, and learning how to best leverage your strengths while also, navigating those areas where you might stumble a bit.
It really is. It's all about, self-discovery.
Yeah.
What would you say is, one key takeaway for those who, really want to delve deeper into their own snake energy?
Here's something to think about. The research suggests that embracing, both your inner wisdom, A and D, those, those moments of self-doubt, that can actually be incredibly empowering. How can that awareness that you have those two sides help you create stronger, more authentic connections in your life?
Wow, it's really making me think. So it's by acknowledging both sides, the wise, intuitive part and the part that overthinks or questions, that's actually how we can connect more genuinely with others.
Exactly. When we can recognize and accept all parts of ourselves, even the messy bits, that's how we can really show up authentically in our relationships. And I think that's something we can all aspire to, regardless of our sign.
Absolutely. Well, this has been an incredible, incredible deep dive into the year of the snake. We've explored their strengths, their complexities, and how they navigate love, work, and just those curveballs that life throws our way.
It's been a pleasure joining you for this.
And to all our listeners, thank you so much for joining us on the deep dive. Until next time, keep exploring, keep learning, and keep embracing all those fascinating contradictions that make us who we are.